people who are going back to watch the VOD. For your benefit, I'll explain what I'm going to be doing here today. So, relatively straightforward. I'm going to be turning this scenario into a random map script. Or perhaps more accurately, I will make a random map script based on this scenario that looks sort of like this scenario. And my thought process there is we'll have a neutral land here made of water. We'll have a land made of grass in the middle. Then we'll have the player lands sharing the same zone. If there are more players, I'll just group them by team. And this thing is going to have to be a fake player land, which we will assign to the first player on the first team. We'll have to see how supporting team members goes. For now, we'll start by just doing 2 players, and then I'll see how easy it is to expand other players. The rest should be relatively straightforward. And we have some nice Age of Empires 3 music to go along. I also have a couple other scenarios, but I think one is realistic to do today. So I guess, first we could just start with copying over some stuff, so... Add a header. It's supposed to be called shoreline, at least that's the idea for it. Something like this. Alright. Get ourselves a player setup. Random placement, we want groups by team. Although, maybe we don't want groups by team. Let's start with random placement. The fake player lands, I'm not sure how that will work if I group it by team. It does kind of look like a weight, yeah. Custom. So our map, initially, we're going to want water, say, presumably. Then the player land. Let's just go create player lands. This is some sort of like jungle grass, isn't it? Terrain by DLC jungle. So yeah, if you want to learn about how to make a map script, I'll be doing it from first principles here mostly. We might as well say land percent 100. Base size, I don't know, like 12. We want them all to be in the same zone, zone 1. Other zone avoidance distance. Let's say like 10. And I spelled distance wrong, yeah, there we go. Do we need anything else for this land? Great player lands. Should be good for now. Then let's create a land. We're gonna make it a different type of water. Let's do deep water or medium water. Let's do medium water. That can can have small base size. I think that can actually be... Oh, we will kind of want to restrict how big this one gets, don't we? Let's make it like 10% or 15%. Zone 2 needs to avoid other zones. Now then we're going to do assign to player. Assign it to one of the two players. Okay. Then we want to land in the middle for the island. Then we'll see in a moment if this all works the way I expected it to. That can be 100%. Land position. Left border. What kind of borders do we say here? 25% of the map? Seems solid. Border, right, border. It's not gonna look quite the same, but I'm not trying to get the exact contours. I'm trying to get the general idea. Something like that. Let's just see how that turns out. I'm gonna have to read the scenario. Yep. Not quite there yet. I mean, it's kind of the idea, right? The middle island is a bit small. This thing needs a base. This thing needs a sizable base size. This thing needs to be smaller. And the layers... let's put them pretty far out. Circle, radius... 40 with a variance of 2, something like that. There we go. I mean, that's getting there, isn't it? Alright, so perhaps this waterway is a bit too wide now. That's pretty much what we're going for, right? That's looking nice. Now, next, what do we want? We could immediately... Well, let's put the players' positions in so that we know where they are when we're testing. Just copy, yeah, something like this here. That'll do. Grab the villagers as well while we're at it. I don't grab the scout as well while we're at it too. No, just villagers. Not just town center. Ah. Yeah, alright, we need to, right? And ID... And I guess theoretically we could have another fake player land on the other side to keep the players real far apart. Is that necessary? I mean, here they're basically right across from each other. We could put another land here, just a token land for spacing purposes. This isn't too wide. We have fairly wide shallows, though. And this thing at the corner also needs to be quite close to the map edge. So if I added another fake land, then we'd basically be doing something like this. Assigned to player 1. Oh, we also need to consider how the zoning works. So this one would be DLC jungle. We'll make it, let's just make it normal grass so we see it. It would be Zone 1. Yeah, we do something like that. You are free to use it once it's done. We would do something like that. Let's say. Still water. Why is there water there? It didn't specifically tell it to. Ah, because it's very small. Okay, so I mean, I could just have it be land percent 0, base size 1. Just have it be minimal. It's basically this little bit. And now we're getting the shape that we want of the overall map, yeah? Hello! I'm turning a scenario, or making a map based on a scenario. Alright, I think we can move on to the connection. Players are basically across from each other. The resources, I will distribute those per player. And then I can put some more around the small neutral land that we just made. Put some on the middle. We need several sets of shallows, which I think if I just connect everything except the lake should work out. Test that. So, I need some connection generation code that I can steal from somewhere. I don't have one in this example. Ah, I got on. Connection generation. Create, connect all lands. Try all lands. Place, terrain, water with shallow. That's all we want to connect. Terrain, cost of. Let's make water. Well, let's okay. We'll keep water at 1 for now. We're gonna make it more expensive later. Terrain, cost, mid water. That. Don't want a connection to that. Terrain, size, water. Ah. Oops, okay. Say 6 or something like that, maybe. Take a look. I could choose not to connect to this neutral one if I wanted to get rid of that set. Let's see how that would look like. That would require me to make this one probably a little bit bigger. Let's say base size 2. Okay. And now the shallows are basically just going to the middle and then to the other player. Now we usually get one set. Sometimes two sets. I could just connect the players themselves too if I did that. Create connect all players. And then what would it do? Then we just have it run to the middle. And then if I were to add this one back again, then it's just super shallow. And I could have this set up with sort of three. I could even. Ideas. Create connect to non-player. Then they will all just connect to the middle island. I think that's a decent. It's based on the scenario that I was showing a moment ago again. Yeah, this dino made the scenario and asked me to turn that to the map. Alright. Also for the water, we could consider using something deeper there. Now, I mean, okay, I guess we can start decorating terrains already. Let's do it. Let's start here. We can make this water here nice and deep. DLC water 4. Or let's just do basic water mixing. Let's say it was deep water. And then we said, okay, deep water here. And then we need a terrain generation section. Steel. Yep, exactly. That is what's going on here. He has 4 that he sent. I'm not sure I'm going to make all of them. Well, this one seemed like one that I had an idea of how I could implement making it. So let's say we wanted to make medium headwater. The problem is it's going to avoid all the shores now. Yeah, no, actually, I think this is fine like this. I can just layer deeper water here, and we'll layer shallower water types in the rest of it. That'll work. It is. I thought since AoE 3 is not getting any more DLC and all sad, I'd download the soundtrack and use that today. Bit loud. It's always hard. I want it loud enough that I can hear it, but I don't want it too loud. Like if I did this, is that better? Too quiet. Maybe something like this. 30, 25. Let's try here. Let me know if that's better. So we have a couple hills just randomly strewn about. I can do that easily. And we need an elevation generation section. The hard part will be when I could turn up my mic, or I could put my mic closer to my mouth. In OBS, I basically already have my mic on almost full, while the game sound at like -30. Alright. What kind of elevation are we looking at here? This looks like 2, 3, like 2 or 3. Yeah, something like that. Put it on DLC jungle grass. Number of tiles. Do I need to? How am I scale by size? We want to set scale. Bigger hills on larger map. Number of clumps. Let's just eyeball this. That will be 100 each. Let's try something like that, see what it looks like. Yeah, I learned that somewhere, right? You're supposed to basically, as if you're almost eating the mic. Ah. It seems I did mute myself. Yes. Thanks for calling that out. How long was I gone? I was chatting about how to make this water look nicer. 20 minutes. Yeah, well, you got nice music. And the map did progress. What did I do in the last 20 minutes? Well, I added all the train mixing. I think I probably took a drink or had to cough and muted myself. I did not unmute myself. Anyway, looks nice. I added train mixing. I think we can move on to the objects. Load scenario. So, what do we start with? Player objects. Okay. We want some villagers, we want a scout. Apparently we also want a hut. Fair enough. I'm just going to give all of them to the player here. Let's see which kind of hut this is. Hut A, alright. Oh dear, hut A. Definitive constants list. Oh, and I still can't search it. Firefox. Something is very wrong with my Firefox. Let's open it in Chrome. Hut A. DLC African Hut A. Okay. Well, there you go. DLC African Hut A. Objects. Player objects. There we go. Regicide support. Sure, why not? At this point, we've placed no berries, interestingly. I am going to take this as is at face value. Which means the next thing I should do is place 4 water buffalo for a person. Follow up. 4, loose grouping. Sure, that'll do. Then we want 5 tile gold, 3 tile stone. And we probably want them to avoid each other a bit. No forage, so we'll start. We essentially have a near gold, And 2 Fargolds, 4, and a 5 tile. 4 and that 5 tile is real far away. Near gold, 2 Fargolds, and basically I see 3. Are there just scattered 3 tile stones all across the map? The question is how many of these I want to assign by player and how many I want to assign neutrally. Let's just start with the basics. Create a water buffalo. Yeah, create 5 tile gold. More wood force on 2. We can also add in sure, it can avoid itself, that's fine. Max distance to other zones. Keep it away from the shore a little bit. Like 5 tiles. Let's do that. Add a 3 tile stone as well. It can have the same actor area and avoid the same actor areas, that's fine. And it doesn't need to keep other objects so far away, but I think, well, that's fine. Let's see what that looks like. We could also keep it from touching the map edge. We add a, you know, min distance. Is it a min distance to map edge? 2? Add that in. How far are we keeping it away from wood lines? Force on 2, that's fine. Sure, that's fine. Alright, so that basically works as expected. We can foreseeably finish this in another, like, half an hour. No, it does not, because the wood lines are placed as terrain, not as objects. To keep wood lines away from the map edge, you could place them as straggler trees, or you would have to do something fancy. Yeah, not so easy to do. Hello, hello. So basically each player has 2 3 tile stones further away. Then like a 5 and a 4 tile gold somewhat nearby. Yeah, we'll add those. We'll add the... Could just make them all... I could just make them all 5 tile golds. That would make things very easy. But we'll do it properly. So gold, number of objects 5. Min distance to players like 22. At that point, we can basically go find closest. It's easier if I do this. Replacements. So next to the map edge, we keep all of that around, and if we just said number of groups 2. To temp. We said like 25. See where the gold would end up, and then we would do the same for stone with the 3 tile stones. Yeah, you could if you somehow manage to with the land generation put terrains on the outside that can be avoided, that would work. Yeah, that's what you would need to do. Or later on with actor areas, somehow delete the wood lines again. Not so fun. Not worth my time. Those golds look good, maybe need to be a bit further apart / further from the players. If we did something like that. I think the issue is that the fake player land also gets in the way somewhat. So perhaps that's a bit too much. Maybe something like this. I think that's reasonable-ish. Then we do the same thing for stone. We could even do the stone first, and then force the gold to be further away, because it needs to avoid the stone. Groups of 3. They can be real far apart, but we just do this and then we do the gold, and let's see what happens. So then we end up with stone, gold, stone, gold. This is part of the Age of Empires soundtrack? AoE 3 soundtrack? I don't recognize this. I feel like we need to be further away from players. Let's just spread them out even further. At the risk that they occasionally both end up on one side, I'd rather have them be not quite so close to players. This means that occasionally someone's gold is quite far away, though. Perhaps too much. Something like that. We can add a bit more neutral gold, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, so yeah, let's see it when it got a bit closer. Okay. This is true. Let's load the example scenario again. I mean, here they were all fairly far away from the players. Perhaps the central island that I have is too small. Looking at this now, I think I need to make it a bit bigger. Okay. Oh, I just had a thought too how I could place this. Oh yeah, let's distribute relics next. One on the central island, two sort of on the side, and two sort of on this side, ideally-ish. We can even do relics. Well, let's put them here. Let's steal some relic code. Create object relic. And we're not going to use the standard relic code though, so we actually don't really need all of this. Just keep it here for now, delete it. Place on specific land ID. I believe my middle island is an ID of 2. And sure, we can avoid forest zone. Zone by 1, we can do avoid max distance other zones. 3 to keep it away from the shore a bit. Then we can add a min distance to players, just to keep it from spawning too close to either one player. Although no, that won't work because we were placing it on a neutral land. Scratch that. We could just add a find closest. That should put it in the middle. No relic. Does the land not have an ID of 2? Does land has an ID of 3. Okay, that would do it. I think the middle island could be a tad bigger, which could be achieved by just upping this a bit. To no real effect. And maybe reducing the base size. And saving changes. That didn't really change anything. How about, what if I made the... Oh, I made the borders smaller, didn't I? I'm being dumb. 25. To make the borders bigger. Okay, now we've made the central island a bit larger. Which I feel is a bit more in line with the example. Although that makes it very narrow back there. I liked it more at 25. Just to give enough space around the outside. Now the relic is just going to spawn in the center, which is too predictable, so... let's make the relic less predictable. We get rid of the find closest, then it can just be anywhere on that island. That's not at all what we want. Min distance to players, let's say, should be 6 or 9 off the center, but then find closest. That it's not always entirely in the same position. Yeah, it moves around a little bit, but it's usually somewhere in the center. We can have it avoid the forest by more to add some more variation in where it is. Okay. Next set of relics. These relics will be placed on our land number ID 21 on the fake land for player spacing. We want them to avoid forests by 1. Fine. We want them to be, let's say, 33 away. Set circular. I'm missing that over here, am I not? Set circular placement. Temp min distance screw placement. 40. And we want terrain to place on DLC jungle grass. We don't want it to be in the middle, and the other one just as a safeguard. Jungle grass 2. We can even add in a find closest here. And I didn't mute myself again. Good job. And we see no relics. Very good. Why are they not generating? Perhaps I was being... It is land ID 21, is it not? It is. Perhaps I was being way too restrictive on what they can be. I also didn't say to place 2. Alright, place on specific land ID. What are the access on those? Reasonable placement. Distance players. Set circular placement. Find closest. We have a find closest twice. DLC jungle grass. Number of objects 2. Why is it not being placed? This land does exist, the land ID 2. This land ID, right, 21. It does exist. Why is it not? Just get rid of all of this. No, it doesn't exist, or something's not right with it. Maybe we need a set guy object only. Yep, that was the issue. We've solved it. because that was actually a player land. That's why we needed this. And we have our relics. They're a bit close. Better. Do I care if they're at the edge of the map? I do not. Alright, now I need 2 more relics, and I have just the idea for those. The other land, the water one, is... The ocean is land ID 20. So if we just did that, without any other changes, what would happen? Nothing. Very good. Ignore terrain restrictions. It's fairly predictable in where they spawn, of course. I say fairly predictable, and there we go. It's not always predictable. Okay, we want to avoid this situation, though. How can we avoid that? Maybe we reduce this distance and increase this distance? It's not super reliable, though. What if I just go like 2 here? I could also place 1 for each player. I could just place 1 for each player somewhat near the player, and then it could be close to the other one or not. Right now I'm trying to place them close to this body of water here. But that is not seemingly working quite as well as it should. Okay, what if we just make this... It's 120, right? The map here. Let's make this 80. Oh, that did send it to the other side. Kind of also do need a min distance to players of like 20 to keep it right away from their TC. Something like that is acceptable. Let's make it 15. Might be that this is as good as it's gonna get. It's almost too predictable, honestly, but not 100%. Like, it's, yeah, that'll do. This'll do. This will do. You can ask an off-topic question, sure. While I consider what we need to place next, which I believe is a bunch of berry bushes in the center, maybe. Yeah, go right ahead. Since we can even... This is the... center. Who placed the center? Just place the center one last. Let's deal with the center. You're trying to make a video. The best TC in each age. You want to make sure a TC war happens with 10 constantly garrisoned villas. How do you do it? In the scenario editor, you can set up a trigger to have the TC attack the other TC. You could probably just even give the AI 10 villagers right next to their TC, then take your 10 villagers, garrison them immediately, and see if the AI does it too, but it might not. You might... Another idea is to calculate how many extra arrows you get from the villagers, and then modify the TC's attack damage accordingly, so you don't actually need to garrison. I don't know about that. I'm not an expert on this stuff. I mean, there's a garrison tab here. You can garrison stuff. But I don't know exactly how it works. Theoretically, yeah, like if I wanted to garrison this archer, the archer's in there. Seems it's actually fairly straightforward. Oh, there we go. I'm an expert at this, apparently. Orange bush. Oh, glad to help. Now we've learned something new about the scenario editor. Groups. No, not bumps. Objects. And then let's add a max distance to players of 10. See how this looks. I feel like that's new. That probably wasn't as easy to do in AOC. I might be wrong about that, but that's my general impression. Alright, maybe we can keep the wood lines out of the center. Although maybe because it's not a player land, the wood lines won't. That's probably what's happening here. Because it's not a player land, the wood lines aren't staying out. There is a solution to that. Replace terrain. All forest with ice. Terrain size. All forest. Did something like this. That would clear out a lot of palm trees, but keep our center clear. And then it clears out nothing because the connection didn't actually run through it. Alright, we don't need to deal with... We don't need to do that. Alright. Oh, I did loose grouping, but I guess that's okay. I kind of don't like this thing, though. Can we not have the jungle grass avoid the center? Maybe it doesn't work because it's not a player land. How else could I make them avoid the center? I could put a little terrain in the center. I don't know exactly how big this land will be. I could just make the clumps smaller. To make it less likely that they cause problems. Not super happy with that solution. I could tell them to stay. I could let them be closer to the shore. I could be a bit more lenient on where these are placed. Instead of placing 9,320 of them. I could be more lenient on where they're placed. Like... Set... Scaling... to... size. And then make this a bit more generous. Might be a bit too generous with the 15. And this too. Alright, let's look at our example again. And we aren't done as soon as I thought, but we are getting there. Alright, so there are like 6 groups of 4 berries. There are always 4, but I'm fine with having it look a bit more random. There are also a bunch of 2 and 3 tile golds scattered around, and there are several ibex as well. So a couple ibex mixed in with the berries, I'd say. And then just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 2 or 3 tile golds. I can't do 2 or 3 though. Actually, I can. Of course I can. So first, let's get a few ibex in there. Ibex. DLC ibex? No. Number of objects. What do we have? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's try like 7. Scale them to map size. They should be at least 2 apart. They don't need to be as far away from forest. They don't need to be as far away from the shore. They shouldn't be too far from the center. Yeah, we do something like that for Ibex. And then create object. Gold. Oh, I want each one to vary though. Do we make them all 2 tile golds? Or 2 and 3 tiles? We make them through. We can make both kinds. We can have a couple of these. And have something like... So that's going until 12. So essentially we could do 12 to like 16. Keep them 8 tiles apart or something. Let's try that. Not Ibex. That's not what we want. We want Gazelle. And we don't want nearly as many. And we want tight gripping on the gold. Set tight. Then a couple 3 tile golds. Not as many though. Portuguese, because of the berries. Perhaps. Don't need a maximum, just like that. And then max distance to other zones, keep it away from the shore a little bit more. Basically something like that for the center. And I think we wanted a bit of neutral golden stone around here. So, which one is this center? Which one of these relics was the one from the shoreline? This one here. Fake player land. We can have gold. Number of objects we want 5. One that's land. Number of groups 2. That scaling to map size. Avoid forest zone. What did we say for gold here? Basically, we want this code, don't we? So we could standardize a bit how placing stuff here. This is just cosmetic. Okay, so we go here. We say number of objects, number of groups, type medicine through placement. 30. Big distance to players, 25. Sure. Sure. We just put this in here. Let's see how that looks in terms of creating this neutral gold. I see no gold. Unless it's this stuff in the mountains, which it is, and it's too far. Yeah, that needs to be much closer to here. So, distance to players, 15. 20. And it's gone. What did I change? We're missing the... we're missing the place on specific land ID. It's still not really behaving. Place on specific land ID, 10 minutes. I probably have too many restrictions on everything. We don't need a set place for every player since we're placing it on a specific land ID. There we go. Better. Now we can spread it out a bit more and say... something like that. Spread them out a bit more. Bring in one castle drop. Alright, now it's too close to the relics and too far away from the players, from the edge. Better. Okay. Right. What am I still missing? I need fish? Do I need anything else? Where am I done? Let's see here. I want maybe 2 more 3-tile stones. And I want 3 gazelles for each player to push in. Yeah, so gazelles and the stone. And then fish. Gazelles, stone, fish. We can do that. So... stone... We'll make this, like... stone, we only want 3. And we want gazelles. The gazelles should go right here. Indeed. 3. Number of groups 1. We don't need this. Group placement radius can be larger because we're doing loose grouping. Direct only, set for every player, min distance to players 25, find closest circular placement. Avoid all the other stuff we've placed. Do we care about avoiding it? We do not. Sure. Map edge, sure. Check these 2 items, and then we'll do the fish. We can also check... No, we'll deal with the fish in a moment. Let's do these 2 items. We've got some stone. We have the gazelles, although I see 1, 2, 3. They are very loosely grouped. No, that's not what I was going for. We want them in a group. Number of groups. We need them to actually be grouped. Yeah, that's more like it. There are no boar, and there are no berries. I wonder if no boar is realistic. Ask about that. Yeah, I will make a note about that. Alright, and then fish. Time to do fish, I'd say. Boar could easily be added, but right now I'll stick with the template and not put them in. One scenario. Okay. I am actually missing another item. 3 more, that explains why we don't have boar. We need 3 more water buffaloes. Yeah. Then we have more food. Okay. Looking good. These look like shorefish to me. Gaia, other. Shorefish. Snapper. Marlin. Alright. Sure. Snapper. We could do Dorado even. Do your fish. Need some fish to steal from a map. Like, this is a fine map that has some fish on it. Alright, 3 more buffalo to find, and we added shorefish. Sort of a bit irregularly, but plenty of shorefish overall. Then we will put all the deep fish in this area. Right, Marlin. Marlin 1. Train to place on... I just took this code that I already had. We end up with a couple Marlins. Let's put them in the deepest of deep water. Oh. And then we add some... We also need birds. Because it depends on the type of fish. Oh, these. It's the... The normal fish that are 200 or 225 food are white. And the marlin are great fish, which have more food. They're red. It actually would make sense, perhaps, for your fish borders mod to give them a different border because they have more food. If you had a fish borders mod. Which fish do we want? I think I want to put a Dorado in rather than a snapper. Dorado. Access to other zones. 8. 7 as well. If we do this. Dolphin? Tempting, but... this, I would say, should be saltwater, while this, I guess, might be sort of mixed. Brackish water. Okay, this is good. Maybe we need a few more fish. We could keep the fish out of this shallower water. I put them only on the other terrains, but I think it's okay. Pretty good, I think. Alright. Yeah. Let's load the scenario one last time, then I can show you the other scenarios too. Which I'm not doing today, and maybe doing some other day. Yeah, so similar amount of fish. We don't have the shape perfectly the same, but I think it's a similar style of map. Oh. Did we go through the entire soundtrack? Yes, so this means we've been streaming for 2 hours. Two hours to make one map? That's not bad, actually. That's more on the shorter end of time I would need. This one wasn't too complicated. And I didn't also add support for more players. We have to remember that. Some of these... This wouldn't be too hard to make, but it's not much randomness in that one. And then... I like the idea with this one here, with the partial walls. That, I think, is doable. But overall map would also... I think this one isn't too bad to make. Would be a bit trickier, but I think I could do. Well, realistically... Could I charge 200 for making a map? The problem is there aren't many people or organizing events that would have a budget if I charged 100 an hour. I'd also have to talk to the other map scripters to make sure we all charge that much. There are some maps already that have a wall like this. Maybe I could just steal one of those or point to one of those and not make one myself. There's actually one more thing that I just thought of. Let's just see how broken the map is if we add more players. Tiny works, right? Let's say we have 3 players. Okay, so the neutral land just ends up here. We can spend a couple minutes and add more support for more players. It shouldn't be too bad, right? We say fake land for player spacing. If to player game. Do something like that. Then the third player is just another land here. That means we have fewer relics, though. So at that point, basically, I just need each player to give a relic in that case. Ah! Hello. Bad luck. Hi again. I will be finishing up here pretty soon, too. So each player gets a relic. We don't need any of this. Set place for every player, find closest. Void forest zone, instant map edge. And we say if to player game. So I was making a map and I'm basically done with it. I'm just adding support now for more than 2 players. Yeah, thanks for casting a bunch of the games. I will keep directing people to your channel when you're live. And we should have a lot more fun games coming up. A lot of the Bracket 1 games are happening tomorrow. Okay, now we have an acceptable number of relics. We don't have as many neutral resources, but players can go battle it out over the center. Now, let's say we had 4 players. How would the map look then? I think I could just straight up scales now that I've dealt with the fake land issue. Of course, only one player will be next to the shore each time. And perhaps we can scale who that is by... We can make it random. Well, people are interested in watching the games. I'm interested in watching too. I'll probably go back and check your VOD. Wait, let me actually, I have a pre-built 2v2. So it's blue-green versus red-yellow. The problem is that this can happen. What were to happen, theoretically, if I just go grouped by team? This will surely horribly break things, but it's not very effective. Didn't save changes. Yep. That was about as helpful as I thought it would be. The fake player lands don't like grouped by team. So how do I ensure... this is when it gets complicated, and I think I will not deal with it right now. But yeah, it's tricky to ensure that the neutral, that this water is between enemies and not separating allies. That can be done. I did that on Chandelar Lake, but that is not nearly as straightforward as just saying, good enough, and leaving it like this. Let's try 6 players. At this point, the body of water, the center perhaps needs to get bigger as well. Yeah, presumably we would need to allocate a bit more space to the center as the map size gets larger. Although it's not even... Yeah, probably I'd make it a bit bigger. We could even code that, right? We do something like... put these all into one row. Be like, if... Now I need the map sizes. Where can I steal some map size code from Hyperrandom? Something like this here will do. Copy that. Put that somewhere up here. And then we say if huge or larger. I mean, that's the only one I really need, right? I need huge or larger. Huge is the 240. Well, that's even bigger than this. Oh, actually, I need basically this one normal or larger. This is the overall structure I need for what I'm trying to do. I also don't need it to support all of these extra map sizes. So we just say if you know, medium map, else if large map, else if huge map, else if gigantic map, else. And we don't support the additional launch option sizes. We give them a bit more space here. We say 24% borders, 3% borders, 2% borders, just a little bit larger, right? And if we do that now, even on the same seed, it has 0 effect. Very good. Why? Didn't save changes? I did save changes. If, else if, else if. The effect was too small? That just had 0 effect. If I do something like this, will that have an effect? Yes. Alright, so in principle it works. We're currently in the large contingent. Perhaps we need to be more aggressive here. That has no effect because we're not actually in large. We're currently in this one here. Perhaps the player lands are taking too much. It has no effect. Okay. Well, time for a different set of measures. In that case, we need to do something different. Scale this to map size. Yeah, that was it. Alright. If tiny map, else if small map. Would be nice if we had a way to just to take a number and say, you know, scale this number by map size. Instead of having to do this. Medium map. Large. I should use the modern map sizes. I should actually use the sizes, let me just close this, then I have more space. Okay, map size puny is a custom size that doesn't actually exist by default. So we were working on the tiny one, and we said base size 15. So probably we do this and it's like base size 10 or something. And we just go up by 5 each time. 20. 25. Might be too aggressive. Clear out all of this. That has just gotten smaller again. Ah, because we didn't specify anything. 35. I mean, that's more the size of the central end that seems appropriate. So if I just keep increasing the size by 5 every time, and then we just go to, let's say, map size massive. Did I save changes? I did not save changes. I mean, at this point the map is very empty because it doesn't have so many neutral resources. But the river is about the right size. We'll test Ludicrous as well, just for fun. 70. There we go. Map size Ludicrous. This thing could take a while to generate, because it has a lot of objects to place on the map. I mean, yes, it needs neutral resources, but technically it has generated a map that could be played. Certainly not designed for this size. And if we go to miniature with, let's say we had 2 players. Yeah, no. Not really suitable for that either. And now it's thoroughly broken. This sometimes happens. We're done for today. Just make sure this thing works. Looking good. Good. I don't know why the icon is missing. Sometimes happens. Did I add some? I did add some various to circle radius. Good. That looks good. Thank you everyone who joined, who stuck around for a while. Hope this was interesting. And we'll see when I stream the next time. There are more hyper-random games I could stream. I could also see if there is someone online who I can raid. Let me just check on that. Since it is good form, I guess, to raid someone when you have the opportunity to. Let's see, who is currently playing Age of Empires 2? Anyone streaming Hyper Random? Otherwise, we just pick someone up. Oh, this guy here, chilling in quick play with 7 viewers. That looks promising. Anyway, thanks for joining. I'm going to sign off. Till next time. Low Elo Legion. There we go, that looks promising. And let's go.
Joins one of the best map editors in the game. Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you guys were having fun. And well, what were you doing? We here are watching very low elos. We have Miss Wonderland playing as the Sicilians, 159 elo. Fiendish Agate playing with the Turks, 234 elo. Age of Uthred, there you go. Damn, man. Still playing Age of Empires 4? Or did you return to the best of the franchise? Would be awesome to have you back, to be honest. Would be amazing. Yeah. I understand. Sad, but I understand. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I know there's some allure to Age of Empires 4. It has all the fancy 3D graphics and all that stuff. So yeah, I understand. The one thing I can't stand on that game is I think it's the scout. He never stops screaming all the freaking time. Holy crap, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. Of course, coming from the guy that likes to hear the villagers saying stuff all the time. Yeah, the scout. Oh my god, the scout is so damn annoying, dude. It looks like what? How did I miss this? They were 5 not too long ago. God damn, and now we are going to Imperial. We do have feudal age upgrades for the castle age sergeants, and we are going to Imperial age. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Let's see how this goes. 2 DLCs for this year, so at least... Oh, damn! Yeah, I mean... it has a very healthy player base, so... I don't think it's going to go the way of the third game anytime soon, right? Oh boy, sorry. AOE 3 players. I'm sorry.